What's the dumbest myth people still believe today? I remember that one myth that gum takes 7 years to fully pass through your digestive system. That takes me back to being 5 years old again. I think that was just a mom tactic to keep you from constantly swallowing your gum. Halloween candy is commonly laced with drugs or razor blades. No one, and I mean no one, is giving their drugs to your 8-year-old for free. Still blows my mind that people think the Earth is flat. Honestly, what reason would world governments have to hide the shape of the Earth? Plus cats. If the Earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off by now. Anything about MSG. I battle with my health-conscious wife about this often. Edit. Too much of anything is bad for you. I still don't understand the demonization of MSG. MSG. Make shit good. I'm almost out of my bottle of accent. MSG is amazing, and its bad rap is all due to some racist shithead from the 80s or the 60s. Almost nobody has any real reaction to it, and most of the ones who say they do just think they do. It naturally occurs in all kinds of foods most people eat regularly. Religion, in my opinion. Black belts have to register their fists as weapons. I can't believe I was dumb enough to fall for that. If you walk around with your hands in your pockets, do they become concealed weapons? That there are magic pills that make you lose weight and gain muscle without ever going to a gym. Or that there are snake oils that will take years off of your face and make you look young. There's a sucker born every minute. And let's not forget male enhancement. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. Yes it does. That's the entire reason for lightning rods on buildings. Detox drinks. I used to work somewhere that sold juice cleanses. Your body doesn't need something to cleanse its liver and kidneys like that. Your liver and kidneys are the cleansers. If anything, you're just giving them a break by laying off alcohol and cheeseburgers. You only feel better because for a couple of days you're actually getting some vitamins into your system for once, and aren't eating steaming piles of shit for every meal. It's not the presence of the juice, it's the absence of the other shit. The fruit juices portion are just sugary and tasty. Of course they feel good. Anything related to 5G. That there are dozens of hot singles in my area. None of them want to have sex with me. That the OP, the original poster, is reading any of these answers. Hello, I'm actually surprised so many people answered. Haha, lol. I'm more surprised you answered, Lamau. There are dumber ones out there, but the one I, as an estate lawyer, deal with constantly is the idea that there needs to be a reading of the will, where the family all gather and the lawyer reads it aloud to them for the first time. We don't do that. We just mail everyone their own copy if they want it. It's a really stubbornly persistent one because people continue to see scenes of it in movies and TV shows, where it's used for some big dramatic reveal. I've even had irate beneficiaries insist that the administration of the estate can't be official until there's a reading. Way back, like 150 years ago or so, I believe we used to do something like that at the time, because you couldn't exactly presume literacy on the parts of the beneficiaries. But now we feel it's a pretty safe bet that you can either read or find someone who can. They'd also do it because everyone was already together, and it was easier than trying to communicate by horse-drawn mail. Headlights off at night is a gangbanger initiation rite, so don't flash your lights at them. I read this as people driving around looking for gangbangs. If you drop a penny off a skyscraper, it will eventually fall fast enough to puncture someone's skull. By that logic, raindrops would hurt like a bitch, or straight up kill you. Not to mention hail. The whole alpha-beta male thing. Even the wolves don't believe it. Oh, I don't want to raise and make more money because then I'll lose more money to taxes and take home less. You only get taxed on the money that's made above your current bracket. It's literally impossible to make more money and take home less. Astrology. It's just a fun, nerdy thing, but now it's almost religious beliefs. These people annoy the shit out of me. I discussed it with a guy for about an hour. He couldn't accept the fact that I didn't believe it. The conversation ended with him asking me my sign, and then using my sign as the reason why I don't believe it. I see this excuse used often to explain why people don't believe it, regardless of the sign the person is. It's the cop-out answer. That you can target fat loss in specific areas of the body by doing certain exercises, like doing sit-ups to lose belly fat. That humans only use 10% of their brain. This is false, regardless of how those who proclaim this myth seemingly demonstrate that it is in fact true. I had a health teacher in school who told us once it's probably okay to actually drink during pregnancy because Chances are, the brain damage will happen to the 90% of the brain that humans don't use, so it won't have any effect on the baby. He proved this by talking about some woman he knew who drank during her pregnancy, and one of her sons is a student in the gifted program, and the other one is an idiot. The gifted student got lucky and got brain damage to the unused 90%. Just WTF? Australia! Definitely. I've been to so-called Australia. I'm convinced the plane just took the long way to California. The moon landing was fake. Ignoring that there was 6 moon landings, there is no way Russia or China wouldn't call them out. Russia had launched the Sputnik and had the first human in space. They had the means to track the moon landers. Both China and Russia can now get satellite maps of the moon. They can see the lander on the surface. No way either of them wouldn't miss the chance to humiliate the US. Do what you love and never work a day in your life. No one's paying me to play video games and eat pizza. That he who smelt it, dealt it. That's the defense of the guilty. Being cold is what makes you sick. Drug dealers will give you free drugs to get you hooked. Still waiting for this, and I'm 59. Urine therapy? Just why? Urine therapy? Heck, we're all in therapy these days. Thank you, and good night. That shaving makes your hair grow back thicker. My 37-year-old partner still believes this, and it does my nut in. My mom laid this on me thick when I started asking her if I could shave my legs. She made me think that once you shave, you can't go back to not shaving or you'll turn into Sasquatch. This was in the 90s with information readily available. WTF made her think that is beyond me. Joke's on you, Mom. I don't shave from November to April every year, and my leg hair is the least weird thing about me. Thank you. That people's hands are eventually going to be useless if they keep cracking their knuckles. Many people still believe hymens are like plastic food seals that cover up the hole and get popped when you have sex for the first time. And if a girl doesn't bleed, she's not a virgin. Yep, it's a dumb one. It's just a thin piece of tissue. It can tear from things that aren't sex, and can heal as well, and some women just never had one. So you can have a woman who's a virgin whose hymen has been torn, and a woman who's taken a break from having almost daily sex whose hymen is entirely intact. That black cats are evil. Yes, people do still think this. It's why they're not allowed to be adopted around Halloween, because people will get them just to abuse them. I have an old black cat. He's giant and has incredibly long fangs that hang out of his mouth. He's the gentlest, cuddliest, goodest boy ever. People think bats are blind. They aren't. Haha, so I am blind as a bat. Eating carrots helps you see in the dark. Wasn't that UK propaganda to hide the existence of radar from the Germans to explain how they could shoot them down? There are still people who believe that having sex in certain positions or eating certain foods can influence the sex of your unborn child, or impact whether you have twins or multiples. Look, if Sims has taught me anything, it's that carrots and alt music get you a boy, strawberries and pop music gets you a girl. Pregnancy lasts for 3 days, labor takes hours, and babies spawn their own bassinets.